What is going on, guys? It's Jake from j&lgaming. We are back on VikingCraft, and this is actually, if you can tell, we're on a creative world. I am actually telling you about season 2, guys. This is the new rules. This is gonna how I'm gonna sum it up for everyone, guys. It's just gonna be so much easier doing a video rather than doing a whole book. However, I will make a book for season 2 for when they first start in as like a starter chest around the central building. Um, which I'll explain everything here in a second. But it's really way less complicated than season 1 with building and stuff. So let's get into it. Also, really quick, guys, I want to thank you guys so much for any likes on the video. Don't forget to subscribe, as well as thank you for any support you gave me on season 1, guys. I greatly appreciate it. Let's get into it. Bam. All right. So to explain, I'll explain it in different steps. Ignore that because I put it out of order and I didn't want to move it. All right. So different thing between this season and the last season is last season we built 3 full cities. This season, everyone's focusing on one city. And there's not like a set of type of buildings you need. There's only 2 specific areas that you need in your city. And with that being said, you need a central loot area, not a vault, a central loot area that people can access. And I'll explain why in a bit. And then you need you don't have to have one, but it's recommended for better like loot for you. For the person who owns the city, and that is a trading area. This represents your city, so people can come to your city, go to the trading area, and trade for stuff that you'll have that they might not have. All right. So, with that being said, you can have as many buildings as you like. You can have one building. It just has to be surrounded by a wall in the end. Obviously to protect your city. Otherwise, it's going to be very easy to raid your city. Kind of, not really though. All right. So, with that being said, we'll go right into the trading area. The trading area is this little area right here. It can look any way you can fancy it up. I just did a simple example. And all it is, you do signs, you do picture frames, however you choose, but it's, for example, 1 wood for 1 iron. How this works is you got your iron, say you want to buy 3 wood or 4 wood, we'll go with 4 wood, you just and replace those spot with 4 wood. That's how you know it's been an even trade, and the owner can come by and take their iron as they need. Same with like gold for books, bam, take 2. There you go. And yeah. And you can even do diamond for emeralds, whatever you might need. It's the owner's discretion or the team's discretion, depending on if you guys are playing in teams, whether or not you want to trade for stuff depending on what you need. And you can make it as large as you choose. You can sell everything and anything. However, people are obviously going to go to the city with the better price. Alright, so that leads us to, let's just jump over to our loot area. This is what the loot area will kind of look like. You can, again, decorate how you choose. It's just simple. It doesn't have to be exactly centered in your base, but it does have to be in your base, like on the surface where people can find it super easily. You can actually probably set it up behind the little area in which you put your iron golems for defense. You do not have to have a defending area for your iron golems, but it is recommended because then it just makes it easier and you don't have pillagers and everything else running around uh, the whole city looking for 1 iron golem that you have. So with that being said, how this works, you have your central area, and this central area will be your loot. You'll have to keep all enchanted gear except for what is on you, whether it's enchanted books or enchanted weapons, etc., in these chests. The other thing is you can have an ender chest and use it this year or this time. In your ender chest, you can have the following. You can have 1 stack of ingots, which means this has to go bye-bye, this has to go bye-bye. You're not allowed to have that. That can't be in an ender chest. You can have random blocks like this, that's fine. But you can have 1 stack of 1 type. After that, it has to be out of your chest. The reason is that way people can properly get taxed. Now, with that being said, why I'm referring to that is because we'll jump over to here really quick. 25% of your ores will have to go into these chests for loot. So, including all enchanted gear. So if you have random chests somewhere in your base, like in your main house, etc., that you're going to build, it has to go into the chest. Sorry, you can't have it there unless you're using it. It has to go in here because it has to be a chance to lose it. Now, when it comes to this, even if it diamond blocks, etc., all simple way to do it, you split it in half and split it in half again, and split it in half, split it in half again, split it in half, and split it in half again. That is what goes in your chest. That is what, if people win the raid, this is where they come. This is their free loot right here. Now, the other thing, I have a troop tax. Now, this is going to be easy to explain. Well, kind of. It is 1 netherite ingot equals 3 iron golems. So, to explain that, you have 4 iron golems right here. That troop tax, it costs. The thing about cities, it costs money to train troops. So 1 netherite covers 3 iron golems. So you have 3 iron golems right here. That would be paid for. However, you still have 1 iron golem to pay for. So you have to go ahead and you can do 2 diamonds for another iron golem. Or you do 50. Hold it. Or 50 iron for that other iron golem. If you're getting tons of iron by mining and everything else, or you set up a legit iron golem farm, it's going to be easy to farm troops all day, every day. It just the catch is, no matter what, this is going to be in there. So say you don't have any good loot, like maybe you have very little of this, so you don't really, maybe like 1 or 2 ingots per se in here, but you have a bunch of iron golems. When a person raids, they'll at least get the benefit of looting this. So if you have iron golems, there's going to be loot. If you have no iron golems, there's going to be a chance of this. However, enemy players attacking are allowed to only look in the troop tax. This will tell them if there are iron golems in the city, if they cannot find the city. And that is the only thing they're allowed to look at. These are supposed to be unknown to the player until the raid is complete, and then they get whatever's in there. Alright? And I personally will be checking up on this 25% rule. If 25% of the ore is not in there, we are going to have problems with that player or team. And I will personally move all 25% over there. That's just going to be how I'm going to do it admin-wise. So, how this works, though, is the central area is going to have 3 command blocks, which that is the only command blocks that are going to be running in the server, and it's going to be at spawn. So how this works is in here it has clear 1 diamond and it gives you 5 vindicator eggs. So I have 62 diamond. Now I have 61 diamond. And I can do this many times. There's going to be 3 of them for vindicators, 1 for pillagers, and 1 for villagers. Villagers are going to be actually a little bit more expensive to get because I don't want people being able to grind out villagers as easy. But the pillagers and others are going to be easier. So how a raid works is they charge in, bam, you have iron golems. Now, the catch with this season, players are not allowed to fight the iron golems anymore. Players cannot engage the iron golems. It has to be through the eggs. So it might be good to carry a potion of invisibility for when you place down those eggs, so they'll fight the iron golems. The other catch is, though, if another player is online and in that city, you can fight player to player, and that is fine. Same rules apply if you are killed in the city, like so that if the defender is killed, then you win the raid once the iron golems are destroyed, and the defender cannot fight back after he is killed once. If the attacker is killed, the defender can kill off the rest of the pillagers and all that. The attacker wins, and they just get the loot that the the defender wins, and they just get the loot that the attacker dropped. So, example of this, they come in, they have a central area for this, and you have 4 iron golems just sitting there. They'd run up and go with their, get out of here, horse, with their potion, and then plant their eggs, and hope their iron golems can win. I'm telling you this now, raids are expensive, and it's going to take a lot to kill iron golems. Like, I'll give you an example. We'll just drop all them in there and see what happens, shall we? Well, it might not take as much. You get enough of them, you can destroy. So, slash difficulty peaceful. Oh, man. Alright, well, they're going to be annoying. So, with that being said, that's how you do it. And since you technically would have won right there, you can walk up and claim everything. From all the way from here to all this. I must have already claimed that on accident. To all this. To all this. This is all the players. However, this stuff over here in their houses, etc., that isn't in the loot zone, not allowed to take. So it prevents players from just raiding and taking everything from another player. That ain't fair to them. So, yeah, it's a little bit more on raiding, but it's really honestly not as difficult as you think. So, yeah. So now we head on to the other thing. What I said this earlier, so I'm going to say it now again. I just threw that in there. Players are allowed to have one gear set on them, meaning they can have all this gear on them right here. This is all allowed. One gear set. The other catch is they must have a locator. Did I just get out of here? I'm sorry. I try to explain things. All right. Anyways, so they must have a locator map of their city, so it has part of their city in it, right here. They must have a locator map with part of that city in their inventory at all times when they travel. If they're in their city and they get killed, that's fine. But they must have a locator map on them of their city at all times. With that being catch, if you are killed outside your city with no locator map on you, unless you're underground mining, because I get you strip mine very far away, that don't count. Um, the killer who kills you can charge you 3 diamond or charges you 3 diamonds, and you must give it to him. If you do not give him the 3 diamonds, you must give him the equivalent, which is going to be 50 iron per diamond, or emeralds, etc. Whatever, or whatever the player desires as an equal trade to those diamonds. So, or if the player with the locator map is totally broke, they must give what they have. That's the rules, how it goes. The killer is allowed to keep everything on that player. It is all fair game to them. This season there is no coordinates, hence the locator maps. So it makes people have to find the bases a little bit tediously by killing everything. Now, if players have teams, everyone in that team must have a locator map on them at all times. So it makes it fair. With that being said, though, you are allowed one map expansion on that locator map. So hopefully I did this right. You place this in here, and you are allowed to place one piece of paper. And now you have a bigger map. This is as big as you are allowed to have it. You cannot have it any bigger. That is not allowed. So, with that being said, that is everything for Season 2. The goal of this season is going to be determined by the players. We're just going to have fun, a lot of raiding, a lot of killing, a lot of cool builds all at the same time. This is pretty much why I'm doing it this way. Is it prevents players from taking everything from another player and just getting rid of it. It also allows players to actually raid and actually get something good, and it allows players to focus on builds more than anything else. So it's just a lot of fun. It makes people challenge. It makes it a little bit of a challenge. Makes people have some fun. So hopefully this will be a good season 2. It's really not a lot of rules, and I'm gonna be making a book. And on that in when we start the server, I'll be making a book on that. Um, for like all these rules explained, but honestly, it's not a lot of rules compared to other times. because you don't need raid camps, you don't need anything else. You just attack the city, etc. And how you do it is how you do it. So yeah. So we'll just see. We either will go by the richest player in the server or we'll go by something else. But like I said, 25% of your stuff is going to be in here, including all your enchanted gear, minus what you have on you. So if all your gear right here is enchanted, that is fine. All this enchanted, that is fine. However, if you have a second pickaxe or something that is enchanted, it must go in here. It makes it challenging. Oh, last thing is no enchanted gear in here unless you are, say, transporting it somewhere, and then it must be taken out. No enchanted gear, no tools, no nothing. Sorry. You only get blocks and ingots for what, and like mob stuff, so like ender pearls, etc. Those are the only things allowed unless you are transporting it. So you could transport stuff, but that's about it. So yeah, like I said, it seems complicated. It really isn't. It took about 15 minutes to explain, and I kind of could have made it a whole lot easier in explaining. But there we go. Hopefully it all goes well. So let's get into it.